morning in Spongeville, two fish, Susan and Miko, were eating shrimp for breakfast and discussing what to do that day when Miko suddenly had a great idea. They could travel all the oceans. Susan said, "I think that'll take more than one day, but let's do it." They gobbled down their shrimp, dashed away from home, and swam off to tell their friends. Miko swam off to tell Bob the blobfish. When Miko got to Bob's house, he knocked on the rock. Bob said, "Hello, Miko." Miko said, "Hello, Bob." Bob asked, "How are you doing?" Miko said, "I'm doing good. I have some exciting news." Bob said, "Really? What is it?" Miko said, "Susan and I are traveling all the oceans." Bob said, "Wow, I'm going to tell Sheldon the shark." Miko waved goodbye to Bob and swam off to find Susan. Susan was going to see Sarah the stingray. When Susan got there, she knocked on Sarah's coral. Sarah said, "Hi, Susan. What are you doing here?" Susan said, "Hi, Sarah. I have some awesome news." Sarah said, "Really? What is it?" Susan said, "Miko and I are going on a journey to explore all the oceans." Sarah said, "Awesome. I'm going to tell Tim the turtle." Susan said, "Bye," then swam off to find Miko. Bob told Sheldon the shark the news, then Sheldon told his neighbor. Sarah told Tim the turtle the news, then Tim told his friend. Before they knew it, everyone in Spongeville heard about it. Mayor the octopus even called a town meeting. That afternoon, Miko and Susan set off on their journey as Mayor Oct and all the citizens of Spongeville waved goodbye and wished them good luck. It was a short swim to the edge of the reef. When they arrived, something rumbled in the sand, causing the water to become cloudy. Something tall and round began walking towards them. It was red, with 6 legs, and had 2 large claws. The two friends trembled with fear, until suddenly a smile appeared on the creature's face, and a cheery voice greeted them. "Hi, I'm Patty the Crab. What's your names?" Susan said, "I'm Susan." Miko said, "I'm Miko." Patty said, "Nice to meet you. Where are you going?" Miko replied, "We are beginning a journey to travel all the oceans." Patty said, "Really? I love adventures. Can I come with you?" Susan said, "Sure." And so, Miko, Susan, and Patty set off on their adventure. After a while, though, the 3 of them grew hungry. Susan asked, "Do you have any shrimp?" Miko said, "No, I thought you brought shrimp." "Oh no! Patty, do you have any shrimp?" Patty sighed and said, "No." Susan said, "So that means we have no food? Great. Looks like we'll have to hunt for some." The 3 of them gathered behind a rock, crouching to hide from whatever might be coming their way. All of a sudden, some sort of green cloud began floating towards them in the water. Miko and Susan were really confused, but Patty wasn't. She exclaimed, "Ooh, look, it's plankton, my favorite." Susan said, "Does it taste good?" Patty said, "It's the best." Miko and Susan looked at each other, looked at Patty, gobbling plankton, and decided to give it a try too. When Miko got some in his mouth, he mumbled, That's so good." When Susan tasted it, she yelled, "Yummy!" And then she ate like she'd never eaten before. After they were done eating, the 3 of them continued on their journey. As they traveled, hours and hours passed, and the water became more clear. Suddenly, Patty shouted, "Look, a coral reef!" Miko and Susan turned around and saw a giant, massive, huge, enormous coral reef with more creatures living and swimming on a reef than they'd ever seen before. Miko said, "Guys, I think that's a great barrier reef." Susan squealed and said, "Hooray! Last one there's a rotten clam." The 3 of them took off as fast as they could, with Miko winning the race. On the reef, they noticed coral and creatures were everywhere. A friendly voice greeted them on their right, where a jellyfish was waving its tentacles at them. He said, "G'day, mates. My name is Jacob the jellyfish. What about you?" Patty said, "I'm Patty, and these are my friends, Miko and Susan." Jacob said, "Nice to meet you. Where are you heading?" Susan said, "We are traveling all the oceans. Can you tell us where we are right now?" Jacob replied, "You're on the Great Barrier Reef in the Pacific Ocean. I wish I could join your adventure, but my job is to help everyone find where they need to go. I hope you have an amazing trip." Miko, Susan, and Patty thanked Jacob for the information, then set off on their adventure once again. As Miko, Susan, and Patty explored the reef, they discovered lots of cool shells. When Miko picked up one of them, legs poked out of the opening and a tiny voice piped up. It said, "Hello, I'm Kermit the Hermit Crab." Miko screamed, "Ah!" and dropped it on the ground. Kermit tucked into his shell for protection and said, "Why are you screaming? All I said was hi." Miko said, "Sorry, you surprised me earlier. Please come out of your shell." Kermit poked back out and said, "Okay, what are your names?" Miko said, "I'm Miko, and this is Patty and Susan." Kermit said, "Nice to meet the three of you. Where are you going?" Patty said, "We are traveling all the oceans." Kermit said, "That's cool, but it sounds scary too. I think I'll just stay right here. Goodbye." Then he disappeared into his shell again. Susan said, "Okay, bye." And the three friends restarted their journey. After a while, they began to see the edge of the reef. When they got off the reef, they struggled to decide which way to go, but eventually headed west. Hours later, the three friends noticed the water getting deeper and deeper and darker. The deep, dark water was making them nervous and making it hard to see. Just then, they slammed into a rock wall. Susan said, "What's this giant wall doing here?" Miko said, "I don't know, but it looks like we'll need to swim up and over it." Patty said, "But I can't swim for long distances." Miko looked at Susan. Susan looked at Miko. Susan said, "I cannot carry her, Miko." Miko said, "Fine, I'll do it myself." And he did. The rock wall seemed to go on forever. Miko finally said, "Patty, you are starting to get heavy." All of a sudden, the top of the wall appeared, and something started walking towards them out of the shadows. It looked like a lobster, but it was fuzzy and white. It said, "Hi, I'm Sea Squatch the Yeti Crab. What are your names?" Miko said, "I'm Miko." Susan said, "I am Susan." And Patty said, "I'm Patty, and I'm a crab too." Sea Squatch said, "Cool. Where are you going?" Susan said, "We are traveling all the oceans. Can you tell us where we are right now?" Sea Squatch said, "You are in the Indian Ocean." Miko said, "Awesome. Can you help us find our way off of this rock?" Sea Squatch said, "Sure. Follow me. It's a bit of a trip." When they finally got to the far edge of the rock, the three friends and their new friend turned to each other. Sea Squatch stayed on the rock, waving both of her fuzzy white claws. Miko and Susan started down the wall, each waving one of their fins. Meanwhile, Patty waved a claw and jumped off the wall like a cannonball. Sea Squatch could hear her say, "Bye!" as she drifted down. When Miko, Susan, and Patty reached the bottom, the three friends restarted their journey. This time, they headed south. As they traveled further south, they noticed the water changing again. Susan said, "It's cold here." Miko and Patty nodded to agree. All three of them were shivering. Something quickly distracted them from the cold, though. A huge, black and white figure was swimming towards them. A soft voice from the huge body said, "Hi, I'm Dora the Orca. What are your names?" Susan said, "I'm Susan, and these are my friends, Miko and Patty. Can you tell us if we made it to the Southern Ocean yet?" Dora said, "Why, yes, you have. And this is Chillsville. Let me show you around." The three friends said, "Okay." After the tour of Chillsville, Dora said, "I would like to introduce you to one of my friends. Follow me." As the three friends followed Dora, Patty asked, "What kind of creature is your friend, and where does your friend live?" Dora said, "He's a penguin, and he lives in Antarctica." Miko said, "Did you know there are 18 kinds of penguins?" Dora said, "Yes, my friend is an emperor penguin, the biggest kind of all. Oh, look, we're here." Dora jumped out of the water and shouted, "Hi, Penny!" then splashed back into the water. Suddenly, a small black and white torpedo slid off the ice and zoomed into the water. He waved his flipper and said, "Hi, I'm Penny the Penguin. What are your names?" Miko said, "I'm Miko, and these are my friends, Susan and Patty, and we are traveling all the oceans." Penny exclaimed, "Really? Which one are you going to next?" Susan said, "We're going to head north to find warmer water. Which ocean will we find next?" Penny said, "You'll find the Atlantic Ocean." The three friends said, "Thank you." Dora and Penny said, "Wait! Before you go, we have something important to tell you." The three friends turned to listen. Dora said, "It can be dangerous out there. There are two things you really need to look out for. First, look out for leopard seals." And then Penny said, "The second thing to look out for is the circumpolar current. It's a circular current that can swirl you around Antarctica again and again." The three friends were spooked, but thankful for the advice. Everyone waved goodbye, and the trio set off once again. This time, they were heading north. A short while later, Susan said, "I sure am glad that we haven't seen any leopard seals. I don't see one anywhere." Oh no, look behind us! Miko and Patty turned and discovered a leopard seal was swimming right towards them from down below. The leopard seal said, "You're coming with me," and snatched Susan away. Miko shouted, "Susan!" Susan screamed, "Ah!" In the distance, Penny heard Susan scream and rushed to see what was going on. When Penny got there, Patty said, "A leopard seal took Susan." Penny said, "Oh no. Okay, I have an idea." He quickly shared his idea with Miko and Patty. They didn't know if it would work, but they felt brave. The three of them quickly chased down the leopard seal. When they got to it, Patty dropped off on the leopard seal's tail. Although Patty held onto it tightly, the leopard seal couldn't feel her yet. As she waited, Penny dropped Miko off at the leopard seal's flipper. Miko reached out to Susan and whispered, "Hold my fin." Meanwhile, Penny swam in front of the leopard seal and said, "Hey, seal, would you rather have a tiny fish or a tasty penguin like me?" The leopard seal quickly chased Penny. As it did, Patty clamped down on the seal's tail with both of her pinchers. The leopard seal cried, "Owie!" It released Susan to Miko, flung Patty off its tail, and let Penny swim away. As the leopard seal disappeared in the distance, the four friends cheered and pumped their claws, fins, and flippers. Susan said, "Thank you for saving you guys." Penny and the three friends said goodbye once again before the trio restarted their journey north towards the Atlantic Ocean. Time passed, and more time passed. The friends became hungry. Miko and Susan said, "Patty, do you see any plankton anywhere?" Patty said, "No, but I do see something ahead that looks like a smooth yeti crab." Miko and Susan said, "I see it too." Patty said, "I wonder where we are. Maybe that creature can tell us." The three friends wandered over to it, and Patty said, "Hi, I'm Patty, and this is Miko and Susan. Can you tell us which ocean we're in?" The creature said, "Hi, I'm Lilo the lobster. You are in the Atlantic Ocean." The three friends celebrated. "Yay, we made it to another ocean!" Susan asked Lilo, "Do you know where you can find any plankton?" Lilo said, "Yes, follow me." Lilo quickly led the friends to a huge cloud of plankton. The three friends said, "Thank you." Lilo said, "Bon appetit." The three friends waved goodbye, then gobbled their meal like three little pigfish. After stuffing themselves, they headed back on their journey. Seconds into it, Susan said, "Where did Patty go?" Miko looked around, then shouted, "Hey, Patty, you're going the wrong way, silly." Patty said, "Oh, I wondered why it got so quiet all of a sudden." Susan said, "Patty, you really are silly. Let's go this way." And the three friends headed north. Again. After many, many miles, Miko said, "Look, I see something up ahead." Patty said, "Let's see what it is." As they got closer, they began to realize what Miko had seen was a big, round gray creature with flippers, a paddle tail, and an adorable snout. The creature said, "Hi, I'm Mary the manatee." Susan said, "Oh, cool. We were wondering what kind of creature you were. We sure hope you don't eat fish or crabs." Mary said, "Nope, I don't. Manatees are vegetarians. That means we eat plants." Susan said, "Phew, I'm glad you're not going to eat us." Mary said, "Eek. Speaking of plants, I'm late for my plant club. I've got to go. Nice meeting you." The three friends waved goodbye and continued north. After hours and hours had passed, they became bored. Patty asked, "Should we do something else to help us pass the time?" Miko said, "Sure. Let's play I Spy." Patty asked if she could go first. Susan and Miko agreed. Patty said, "I spy with my little eye something that is purple." Miko said, "Is it that tiny fish?" Patty looked around and said, "What tiny fish?" Miko pointed his fin and said, "There was just a tiny purple fish next to that purple sponge. Where did it go?" All of a sudden, a scruffy voice said, "The tiny purple fish went in my belly." The three friends asked, "Who is that?" The scruffy voice said, "I'm Fritz the frogfish. I'm the purple sponge you're looking at." Just then, eyes opened on the sponge, and the sponge changed from purple to orange. The sponge had a grumpy-looking face with a huge mouth. It had fins, too. It began walking towards them, using its fins like legs. Fritz really was a fish. He asked, "How do you like my camouflage?" Patty said, "Your camouflage is awesome." Fritz said, "Thanks. You guys look lost. Can I help you?" Miko said, "Yes. Can you tell us which way the Arctic Ocean is?" Fritz said, "Yep. Just keep heading north, and you'll find it." The three friends thanked Fritz and headed back on their journey. As they traveled, Susan asked, "Did you guys want to try I Spy again, or would you like to have a race instead?" Miko said, "Let's race." Patty said, "Okay, on your marks, get set, go!" The three friends raced as fast as they could. Patty squealed, "I'm winning!" Susan said, "Yeah, but where are we racing to?" Miko said, "Let's race to that rock up ahead." He sailed past Patty as she said, "No, you passed me!" Miko reached the rock and said, "Yay, I win, I win." Susan said, "Congratulations, Miko." Patty said, "Did you guys notice how cold the water has gotten?" Miko said, "I did. I think we made it to the Arctic Ocean." Susan said, "Let's explore and find a creature to tell us where we are." Patty said, "Look, there are some creatures. Let's ask one of them where we are." The three of them approached the big creatures and introduced themselves as Patty, Miko, and Susan. Patty said, "Can you tell us where we are?" The biggest of the creatures said, "I'm Walter the Walrus, and you are in the Arctic Ocean." The three friends said, "Yay!" Susan asked, "How are you not cold, Walter?" Walter said, "Blubber. It's a layer of fat that keeps us warm in water and on land." Susan exclaimed, "Awesome! I wish we had blubber right now." Walter laughed. Miko asked him, "What are those pointy white things sticking out of your mouth?" Walter said, "These are my tusks. Walruses use them for fighting. Hold on a second, I need to get air." He quickly swam up to the surface with his friends, poked his head into the air, then dove back down and said, "Okay, that's much better." Patty said, "You needed air?" Walter said, "Yes, of course. That's how I breathe oxygen. Whales, dolphins, manatee, and other marine mammals breathe air too. We have to hold our breath when we're underwater." Miko said, "Hey, we've met a manatee before. We didn't know she breathed air." Susan said, "That's so cool." Patty said, "It is. But we should get going now." The three friends waved goodbye to Walter, then restarted their adventure. Susan said, "Walter was really nice. We learned a lot of cool stuff from him." Miko said, "Yeah, we did. I wonder if we're going to meet any other creatures while we're here." All of a sudden, a sweet voice giggled and said, "Like me? I'm Naya the Narwhal. What are your names?" Susan said, "I'm Susan. This is Patty, and this is Miko." Patty said, "Wow, I like your horn." Naya said, "Oh, this thing? It's called a tusk." Susan explained, "Hey, our friend Walter had 2 tusks." Naya said, "Some narwhal have 2 tusks too." Miko said, "Awesome." Naya said, "Usually the boys have the tusks, but for some reason I grew one too. Maybe it's because I really like unicorns." Susan asked, "What is your tusk made out of?" Naya said, "Ivory. Walrus tusks are made out of it too." "I have to go now. Bye." The three friends said goodbye, then restarted their journey. An hour passed, and the friends traveled quietly. Susan said, "I wonder if everyone misses us back at home." Miko said, "Yeah. I wonder how everyone is doing." Patty said, "I want to stay with you guys when you get home. I don't have anyone waiting for me where I live." Miko and Susan said they liked that idea. Suddenly, Miko said, "What's that shiny thing over there?" Patty said, "Let's go see." Susan said, "It's a pearl." Patty said, "Whose is it?" A tiny voice said, "It's mine. I'm Ollie the oyster. My neighbor will tell you where I am." Susan said, "We see your neighbor." Ollie's neighbor opened its shell and said, "Hi, I'm Carrie the clam." "Ollie, stop being silly. Blink and clap your shell so they can find you." Just then, Ollie blinked his shell open and shut. Miko said, "Oh, I see you. Hi. I'm Miko. This is Susan and Patty." Ollie said, "Hi." Patty said, "Where did you find that pearl?" Ollie said, "I didn't find it. I made it out of sand, calcium carbonate, and a parasite." The three friends said, "Whoa, that's really cool." Miko said, "Carrie, can you make pearls too?" Carrie said, "Yes, me and other clams can all make pearls. We just don't make them as often as oysters." Patty said, "I wish I could make pearls. I would make a beautiful necklace for myself." Miko said, "I am not surprised to hear you say that, Patty." They all giggled. Susan said, "It's time for us to get going. We're heading home from traveling the oceans. Do you know where we are now?" Carrie said, "This is the Pacific Ocean." Miko said, "That means we're getting close. We live between it and the Indian Ocean." The three friends waved goodbye to their new friends and headed off. Miko said, "I can't believe we're almost home." Patty said, "We sure met a lot of creature friends." Miko said, "Look, you guys, it's the rock we hid behind when we were looking for plankton." Susan said, "That means we really are almost home. We are back in the Indian Ocean." The three friends were so excited. Patty said, "I see a bunch of coral and sponges ahead." Miko said, "That's Spongeville." Susan said, "It's quiet here. Where is everybody?" All of a sudden, everybody in Spongeville popped out and shouted, "Welcome back!" Patty screamed, "Ah!" and hid behind Miko. Susan said, "You don't have to hide." Patty showed herself and said, "Hi, I'm Patty. Can I live here in Spongeville?" Everyone smiled and said, "Yes." Mayor Ox said, "Let's start the ceremony to make it official." The citizens of Spongeville shouted, "Yay!" Mayor Ox said, "The seaweed ribbon is ready." Miko and Susan said, "Are you ready, Patty?" Patty nodded and walked forward. Mayor Ox said, "Patty the Crab, you are officially a citizen of the town of Spongeville. Will you please do the honor of cutting the ribbon?" Patty smiled big and said, "Sure." Patty reached out with a claw and cut the seaweed ribbon. Everyone cheered and welcomed Patty to Spongeville. Mayor Ox said, "Yes, welcome, Patty. Now can the three of you tell us all about your adventures?" Mayor Ox and all the citizens of Spongeville gathered in close as the three friends began telling them all about their travels and the interesting creatures they met along the way. The end. Written by me, Toby Tapley, when I was 10 years old. Narrated by me, Toby Tapley, when I was 11 years old. Animated and directed by me, Toby Tapley, when I was 11 years old. Starring Miko and Susan. Shrimp. Bob the Blobfish. Sarah the Stingray. Sheldon the Shark. Tim the Turtle. Mayor Ox. Patty the Crab. Plankton. Jacob the Jellyfish. Kermit the Hermit Crab. Sea Squatch the Yeti Crab. Dora the Orca. Penny the Penguin. Leopard Seal the Villain. Lilo the Lobster. Mary the Manatee. Fritz the Frogfish. Walter the Walrus. Naya the Narwhal. Carrie the Clam. And Ollie the Oyster.